Hello, you lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens. My name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be talking about the manga known as Old-Fashioned Cupcake by Sagan Sagan. In this manga, 39-year-old Nozue's life unfolds in a monotonous, if somewhat melancholic, rhythm of sleep and work. Togawa, his younger subordinate, becomes concerned and decides to disrupt Nozue's routine. During a lunch outing, they stumble upon a pancake shop filled with spirited young women, aiming to engage in activities typically associated with girls. This outing proves to be just what Nozue needs to rejuvenate his spirits. This outing sparks an improbable friendship between the two men, and potentially something more. At the onset of the manga, Nozue may be described as a sad individual who doesn't always understand both the depths of his sadness or the reasons behind it. What defines his character, even more than his sense of melancholy, however, is his overwhelming belief that he's old, that he's practically ancient. He acts and sounds like someone at the end of their life, as opposed to someone caught in the midst of it. He often describes feeling too old to do certain things like attend mixers. Although I don't feel old in the way that Nozue does, he's an extremely relatable character because as you age, you're expected to adjust the manner in which you conduct yourself. You're expected to outgrow both certain behaviors and interests. For example, boys may be told that they can no longer cry, no matter how much something hurts, because this action allows them to mature from a boy to a man. Whereas girls may be told that they can't roughhouse and must conduct themselves in a ladylike fashion, because that's what differentiates a girl from a full-grown woman. And society rarely, if ever, stops there. Depending on when and where someone grows up, they may be expected to stop playing certain sports, or from taking an interest in video games, certain books, or films aimed at a younger audience. In my limited experience, I've seen both those who follow these expectations that society places upon them and those who don't. Those who do appear very mature to me, but also stuffy and like they're not enjoying life to the fullest. While those who don't may occasionally feel childish, but are also those who are willing to be themselves and allow themselves to enjoy the things that make them happy, to have hobbies that others may look down upon them for. Clearly, these individuals are the opposite of Nozue, people who do what they want because it makes them happy, while he has placed himself in a box and told himself that his life should be a mixture of resting on weekends, working, and reading, because he has come to a certain age and that is not only what is expected of him by society, but by himself. Upon realizing this, Togawa, Nozue's subordinate from work, takes it upon himself to break Nozue out of his shell. He begins this journey by inviting Nozue out to eat, predominantly at establishments frequented by young, vibrant women, and insisting that they act like two female friends as opposed to two working men. Oftentimes, this results in the pair of them gossiping about one thing or another, and gradually, readers bear witness to Nozue opening up to his coworker in much the same way as his coworker begins to open up to him. As their relationship continues to blossom, the pair try out other activities like visiting the zoo, and eventually begin making their way to one another's homes. I liked how their relationship gradually unfolded and how Nozue comes to realize that he has feelings for Togawa as well. Throughout the majority of the manga, both men assume that the other would prefer to spend time with a beautiful woman, would rather attend meals with them, go to the zoo with them, do everything with them, and eventually wind up with them, even if Nozue said he wasn't interested in that sort of thing. But as the manga progresses and we see Nozue crack when Togawa doesn't text him back or decides not to spend time with him, both reader and Nozue realize the truth. Nozue has feelings for his younger coworker, just like Togawa has feelings for him. Nozue takes a good look at his relationship with Togawa and realizes that he never wished he was with someone else when he was spending time with his coworker. He never wished he were a woman, or their time would come to an end. When they don't spend time together, he wishes they could, and only withheld his feelings once he realized what they were because he feared how two coworkers would look. But ultimately, he can't do it anymore, and the two express how they both feel the same way and get together. I loved how Nozue gradually came to realize his feelings and that he didn't fall for his coworker immediately. I loved the slow and steady progression of their relationship, and how it made Nozue reevaluate himself and his views on the world, come out of his shell. The expression of both of their fears, how the other would desire a woman because men are supposed to want women, how the other would rather spend time with someone they were romantically attracted to, etc. It was sometimes subtle, sometimes more overt, and never something that overcame the narrative, which was ultimately an expression of two people falling in love and growing together. It was extremely well done. With that being said, there were a few things that bothered me about the manga. First, it felt oddly long. Throughout its course, it maintained a steady pace, and I would argue that the plot unfolded at the perfect pace for the story the author was intending to tell. But it felt like it overstayed its welcome a bit, like it should have been done a bit sooner. The other thing I didn't like was the artistic style. Part of this stems from my dislike for the shape of the characters, and part of it stems from my sense that the drawings weren't quite finished because of certain elements such as the shape of the artist's lines and shading. When you study aspects of each character, particularly their eyes, you may see what I mean. It looks like the artist had only left impressions on a page and hadn't quite finalized their work yet. Sometimes they don't even finish the faces, and this only adds to my belief that the illustrations were near completion prior to publication, and hadn't been finished before publication. After taking everything I've said into account, I'm going to give this manga a solid 3 out of 5 stars. While I enjoyed the story overall and how the characters were portrayed and their feelings expressed, the length felt off and I really didn't appreciate the art, which I feel is a major problem in a graphic novel format. And there you have it, my review of Old-Fashioned Cupcake by Sagan Sagan. What did you think of my review? Did I leave anything out? What did you think of this manga if you've read it? What do you think of BL and the way both Nozue and Togawa were portrayed? Let me know down below in the comments. I always like to know what you kings, queens, and in-betweens think. And if you like what you saw here today, please smash that like button until it's blue. Subscribe. Ring that bell so you'll always know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!